What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Games Recap.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. As always, best way to start your day, get a healthy scoop of yesterday's game news.
Yes, I am Brandon Pham, and this is
Larry Charles.
And we're game developers giving you game news from a game developer's perspective.
And let me pull up the Twitch chat real quick just to make sure our technical directors are on the job.
I think I see
Technical
the
advisors.
audio visuals going up, so we are, as far as you can tell, pretty good to go. So obviously you're watching this on our live Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/blue_champs.
There you go.
Or you're watching this after the fact
On YouTube.
on youtube.com/bluechamps. If you are supporting us, thank you, on our patreon.com/bluechamps or our Twitch Prime subscription. All that monies do go into our pockets somehow, and it helps supports the show. And, our next immediate goal for Patreon is to make this an audio podcast daily. So any help from there would be greatly appreciated. All right, enough of the begging. We got that out of the way. Let's talk about today's biggest topic, according to us. So this gives us we have some authority over this, right? We're ex-Call of Duty veterans.
There's people out there who think that we don't know what we talk about. So in honor of the negative feedback that we've received, we're picking a topic today that we definitely know a lot about.
Yeah, we actually worked on this game.
Yeah.
This series. Yeah, this game is coming out from Infinity Ward. They're going back to Modern Warfare because they ran out of ideas, right? But it is their best bet.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of the Call of Duty studios like Treyarch, Infinity Ward returning to a series that they do best, which is Black Ops and Modern Warfare. And I think, the time for experimentation is over. Just stick with the franchises that have made your studio the way it is. Raven and Sledgehammer, unfortunately, has fallen out of the loop, right? They're returning back to a 2-year model now. Did you know about that?
I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about that?
I thought Raven was stepping up to become like a primary.
It didn't work out.
Oh, man.
Raven is Raven.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I think it was like insider news that Raven was going to step up, but of course it didn't work out. So they're returning to toss back and forth between Treyarch and Infinity Ward.
Oh, man.
And I think we commented this bit when we were talking about how Black Ops, that news article came out where they were crunch culture, and we're saying it's going to get crunchier real soon. Because now every 2 years they're expected to deliver a Black Ops game in the next gen transitional year.
Remember Ghost?
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think this is what their new mode that they're coming out to kind of battle the battle royale fatigue is, I think, a very smart move. Let's go back to this basics and what people love shooting about. I love how they're not chasing the battle royale craze.
Well, yes, I agree also. I think that here's what I look at when I'm observing the marketplace, and I see a lot of battle royale games. I see a lot of companies, trying their hand at it. I worked at a company as well that came out with a battle royale game. That's, of course, Unbroken Studios and Fractured Lands. You guys should go check that out. The thing is, though, is like that's not the only type of game that sells, right? So if you have a studio that makes Call of Duty, people love the single player. I don't care how many people say they exclusively play multiplayer. Oh, Katsu's not happy. I know there's a lot of people who say that they exclusively play multiplayer, et cetera, but single player is a huge portion of sales in that game, especially when you talk about driving the commercial footage. When you look at, hey, here's our new teaser trailer for Call of Duty that's coming out. The last 18 of them have been like 4 minutes of single player footage and then like 10 minutes of like the cool multiplayer stuff that you're going to get to do. So I say all that as a preface for this next statement. Just because Battle Royale is doing well and there's a lot of money being made by 2 or 3 companies that make Battle Royale games doesn't mean that that's the only type of game that's making money, right? So I'm really excited to see that Call of Duty is going to try something new to be completely separate from Battle Royale and say, hey, let's try this 2v2 mode. Let's try something that no one else is actually doing or focusing on right now, because that could be the next thing.
Yeah.
Battle Royale wasn't a thing until it was.
Yeah.
Right. So stepping out, taking on that new idea, and then giving it a chance to breathe with the Call of Duty audience, which has 24 million 22 million copies sold on average in a life cycle.
Yeah.
That's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like although a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon of Battle Royale, and more developers are kind of jumping in and trying to cash out with that. I'm finding myself playing Counter-Strike again. I'm so sick of the complication, the sci-fi-ness of the shooter genre that I grown and love and kind of exclusively play in, that I'm playing Counter-Strike just as like I just want to shoot people virtually. Without all the distractions. Yeah. And so I'm actually looking forward to Modern Warfare returning back to its roots. So why I got into this series in the first place, because I've always seen Modern Warfare as like a step up from Counter-Strike, like an improving on the formula a bit. And then it went really crazy, right? Wow. So I'm looking forward to 2v2. I haven't seen this footage yet. I think it's appropriate to kind of just look at it together. Have you seen it before?
No, I haven't seen it.
We're going to react to it live. Are you ready, audience?
2v2.
So we are referencing a Polygon article. They have like a little cool footage.
The keyword that they're using is frantic. So I'm excited to see, because I've always considered Call of Duty multiplayer to be frantic. It's as soon as you get hit by that first bullet, you have about a second and a half before you're dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna play the sound so everyone can.
All right.
Oh shit. Well, give me a sec here.
No worries.
Got my mouse. Go back to Larry Cam.
Welcome back to Larry Cam. This is the sub show of the main shows where I take over the whole production and I try to save face for the live streaming audience. I'm just going to give you a general impression of the idea. I think that going into a 2v2 experience is like it's like playing squads battle royale and just having the fun part, right? Like it sounds like everything that they're going to be offering is the fun part of the battle royale experience. The 15 minutes of stalking to a prey, to an enemy, getting ready for the conflict, maybe that's going to be gone, and it's just going to be a small amount of search and then lots of destroy. Right. So if that's the case, if that's how it's being built, I actually would really like it, because I think the fun and the skill cap for me in a battle royale experience is less about the grind and the weight, and more about I just want to see if I'm better at shooting you and avoiding your shots than you are at doing the same to me. I want the conflict.
Radiant. All right, here we go.
It looks nice.
Looks like
good shot.
Looks like what you expect from this thing.
2 versus 1. Oh yeah, this is great.
Shorter rounds.
Small map.
Faster, intimate.
It's cluttered, but it's the right amount of clutter. Oh yeah, I'm playing this. I think coming back from a 1 versus 2 is reasonable, right? Like if it was 5 on 5 and then it became 4 on 5 and then it became 3, 2, 1, like the steamrolling effect is way worse when you have like 3 versus 1 type of thing.
But I like it when competition does the inverse of what's popular. Yeah. I think that's when it gets really interesting, showing the contrast. I think this is the right move for Infinity Ward to do, and really champion what they're good at, which is the frantic, fast-paced action. Though a lot of people did like the Battle Royale system in Black Ops, it's so against what Call of Duty's about, which is waiting and
Exactly.
Like no one's playing it anymore, right? So it was very short.
The Battle Royale experience, right, is great for streaming, but this is way better for playing, in my opinion. Yeah. The time to combat is low. Like we're seeing these videos from the start point to the first bullet is like within 6 seconds. 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 seconds there. So you're actually gonna get right to the meat, which is I want to shoot somebody. I want to see if I'm better at shooting them or if they're better at shooting me. I want to have conflict and I want to emerge victorious. It doesn't feel unfair. 1 versus 2 happens in Battle Royale all the time, happens in tons of games. Yeah. So even if you lose your partner, you still have a decent opportunity to be able to hunker down real quick, try to get 1 kill, turn it to a 1v1, stalk the other guy, and then see, or girl. And, or all the other pronouns that we use now. It's cool. Oh, look at that. He went back. He doubled back. That's why he
I like it, man.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a basketball game, dude. You just want to jump in, jump out.
Yeah. And you know what's even better now that I think about this? The Battle Royale experience that we've been sold as the way to do it, 100 people required to play it, right?
And you're still waiting.
Exactly. This, even if your community gets small years from now, right? You have 110 people playing. Those people aren't going to know that the community is small. They're not going to feel it in the same way as not being able to fill a game with 50 people. Whereas you're making a game that has 4 people. As long as you can find 4 people, you can play this game.
Yeah. And competitively, I think it's a lot. There's a lot of potential in the esports arena to have a team of 2 really really kill it, man.
Man, the size of the map, I'm in love.
Yeah, I like the size of the map
small
too.
and like focused,
intimate and focused. Yeah, it's great that they're showing different types of maps.
They're really selling the skills of whoever the main person is. The blue team is won every single time. It seems like.
It's probably a designer.
Oh, look at that.
Did you just kill him with a knife?
Died.
Oh, no.
His partner was standing right in the open. Got mollywopped. Yeah, see? Whoever's on the other side, they suck.
Well, it solves a lot of issues too, right? Because Call of Duty, I like how it's going back to what I like about Counter-Strike, where it's not permadeath, but the round-based type of game.
Yeah.
Where the recent Call of Duties are like, you know, the biggest complaint with Call of Duty is the respawning and the random respawning, and you know, it's starting to take away a lot of the skills of learning the map and being able to anticipate, because everyone's spawning behind you, right? Just to keep the action going. I love how, you know, once you're dead, you're dead. You wait for your next round. Yeah. And this is going back to me, like a slightly improved version of what Counter-Strike is, right? You can aim down the sight. It feels good. A little bit more animation and bounce when you actually walk around.
Yeah. Oh, slid right into that asshole.
Yeah, I think they have.
I think it looks nice. I think that
there's no sci-fi wall climbing, jumping, which has been
bring it back to modern.
Before Battle Royale was
time.
It was a lot of fatigue. That's why World War II did really well.
I'm excited about this title. I think that Modern Warfare 4, even though we knew it was coming, even though we like rag on Infinity Ward for, not rag on them, we knew that they were in a position where they had to have like a successful shot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they basically produced 2 good games as far as like, was it a complete Call of Duty experience worth the $60? Yes, but did they sell as well as the other Call of Duty games that were out in the marketplace before and after theirs? No, they didn't. I still feel bad about Ghost though. I think Ghost was a little unfair.
Ghost
for Infinity Ward. To be the new PlayStation 4, Xbox One Call of Duty, still on the 2-year cycle. Yeah. So I feel like they had a fair shot.
Yeah, man. This is a studio that really needed a hit. Yeah. Even by Activision standards, especially by Activision standards, for them to to take a fall from their last 2 games not doing well and still being able to produce another game after 6 years of failed development is a huge, I guess, risk versus reward analysis from Activision, to be like, you know, IW still has a reputation among the gamer community and game developer community. They still have the Modern Warfare license. Yeah. We'll let them fuck around, and if there's a hit, there's a hit. If not, we can always fall back, and this is their fallback.
Yeah. They had an ace in the hole here, right? I think that, I guess, what saddens me about my personal experience was I really liked the idea of Advanced Warfare being the out of the norm Call of Duty and really pushing the tech and the futuristic stuff. I thought that Black Ops was kind of doing the because the first Black Ops taking it back to the John F. era and seeming a little bit modern, but then it also then went futuristic. It was harder for me to place a like a permanent expectation on that game. Because that game floated across, many different thematic opportunities.
Black Ops?
Exactly, Black Ops, that franchise. So I really wish that Black Ops would have been like the...
Stayed in the Vietnam War.
Stayed like earlier
Soviet,
than modern. Give Infinity Ward the modern, and then give Sledgehammer like the future.
That's how I would have
I think that cadence would have been great. You wouldn't have the same type of fatigue where futuristic game after futuristic game after futuristic game, which was Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Advanced Warfare. Or Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare.
It's too much.
I think that was a mistake.
That was a huge mistake.
Got him.
Like, we're biased, but I feel like Advanced Warfare was the best approach to future warfare. It to me was, even if I step back as a fan, right? To me, it was enough of a step away from Modern Warfare where I felt like it's okay. Right? Before it got too spacey.
Yeah, giving a game a distinction is a good thing, but then assuming that the entire franchise needs to adopt that new thing removes the distinction, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not salty at all. I had a lot of fun working on that game. And I think that I always look forward to Call of Duty games because I know what I'm going to get for the most part.
You're always going to get quality, even if you disagree with it or not. Like, even with all the flops. We say flops, man. Those games all sold over 15 million copies.
Activision flops.
Activision flops are 15 million copies plus.
Not public sales consumption figures. Like, there's a lot of games that would kill for half of what Ghost sold.
Yeah.
Even at the same price point.
Yeah. So I'm glad the IW guys, I think it's clear that they have a hit on their hands. Especially the streamers. They're dying to play something like this.
Yeah.
They're tired of like playing Fortnite. They're tired of playing like Apex, right? It's just back to the basics.
Look at anybody like that we know, Dr. Disrespect. Look at Ninja or like Nade Shot, Choco Taco, whatever. All these players who I think are really good at first-person shooters
are based off of this,
When you're watching their stream or if they're playing Fortnite, there's so much dead air that these guys have to fill with personality to keep their streamers engaged until they get to the conflict moment.
Yeah.
And then it's back to, oh God. You know what I mean? Like the extra shit that they have to do. Now imagine playing this mode. Okay, guys, I got to be real quick. I'm going to run with this. I'm going to do this. And I hope my partner doesn't suck. 4 seconds later, they're in a fight.
Yeah, they actually can just play the game.
Yeah.
Smart. It's very smart.
Yeah, I think
it's a very bold decision. I'm glad the designers were able to sold it to upper management and be like, I know everyone's going for the Battle Royale craze. We did it ourselves last year. We want to go the opposite.
But then I knew for a fact that they weren't going to make a new Battle Royale every year because that would just cannibalize. Like, if you talk about Battle Royale fatigue before, imagine every new Call of Duty ships a new Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that system alone is already so old, where every year they should just combine the studio, and one studio is kind of like, if they're doing every 2 years especially, just switch over to the online permanent Call of Duty mode already, and then just have each studio kind of do the season pass for that year to keep interest.
A Call of Duty single player only would sell? Remember how they cut single player and just released Black Ops 4, complete multiplayer package, $60.
It would have to be different. It would have to be longer. It would have to be on the par of Last of Us. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the single player campaign was always of quality, but was always super short, like 4 to 5 hours of experience. And you can only get away with that because it was packaged with so much other stuff.
Yeah.
Standalone game, unless it's cheaper, but people will expect more, like a game of the year, right?
I would love to see.
It's gonna be difficult.
I would love to see a Call of Duty single player where the multiplayer is like the drop in, drop out co-op opportunities. Where like, hey, I'm just couch surfing. Oh, somebody's playing like the Bethlehem map. Like, oh, I want in. I jump in, play a couple maps with you.
Yeah.
There's score ranking. There's things that we can do to like I don't know, have fun while we're inside of there. Like, oh snap! Like old school beat 'em ups used to be.
Yeah.
Remember when you played Ninja Turtles or The Simpsons, whatever?
Yeah.
Wherever you were, I could just put a quarter in and join you for a while, and then once I ran out of money, I'd be like, all right, see you, man. Good luck.
Yeah. Single
still some value
player, they need to evolve to a co-op experience every single time, and make it like fucking Time Crisis, bro. You can drop in, drop out.
Man, I miss Time Crisis.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Wow.
Because you're constantly playing single player, you always have a squad, right?
Yeah.
Just let people drop in, drop out.
Damn.
Because then instantly,
I'm off this mental tangent of nostalgia now that you said Time Crisis.
yeah, I love Time Crisis.
Yeah.
But like Call of Duty to me can evolve the single player genre by combining a co-op type experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what the Division is, you know, where you have a squad of 4 and you're kind of going through NPCs and events and stuff like that. Like, I'm surprised COD wasn't the first to kind of come up with the Division.
Yeah, well, it's like the idea of me. Whenever I play Call of Duty, I'm the lone soldier, right?
Yeah.
When I'm in multiplayer, I'm a part of a group or a part of a squad that just kills this other squad for the sole reason of just killing them, right?
Yeah.
But like, imagine when you think of a modern military right now, when you think of the Navy SEALs, when you think of any sort of like SWAT team, when you think it's this team of people stays together and they go from objective to objective to objective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's uptime, there's downtime, there's engagement, there's travel, there's espionage, recon, there's all these things that could be sold in a Call of Duty style fantasy that allows multiple people to play together over a long goal mission with B sub arcs of like, hey, we got to retake this warehouse because there's ammunition there, because there's supplies there, and if we choke the supply train, it'll be much easier to do the long goal, which is to assassinate X target.
Yeah.
I think it would be so much fun to play with 4 or 5 people as we march towards some sort of campaign style goal. And I would keep playing it. Even if like I beat it already, I have a reason to go back, because if the gameplay mechanics are still fun, to be in firefights with people I know, much like the military does right now. Like these groups they don't just have their one mission and then that's it.
Right.
They have 6, 7, 8 missions on their tour before they go back home.
There's so many cool ways to play around with that idea where you can complete it by yourself if you want, but having your squad separate and having to complete like other areas of the map to help you proceed, like you said, can be a very fun new Call of Duty experience. I hope when they go into the next gen that they think how to evolve the single player experience. Because by this time, usually every year, we would be hearing more single player stuff. Yeah. You would be hearing what actors are attached.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just cutting back on that because of how much it costs.
They started with some of that, where they're like, oh, this one is going to be so tense. It's going to be so dark. Call your therapist.
I know, but this is already July, right?
Yeah,
The game's coming out in October. We would be hearing Hollywood stars attached to
That's
it.
only 3 months, August, September.
It's like most of the commercials are surrounded single player. Now we're just seeing this. And maybe it is cheaper. Maybe that's how they're cutting back. Yeah. Because Black Ops have shown that they can succeed without single player. Yeah. And the bulk of the funding has always been single player, right? The multiplayer team has always been pretty slim. They're fast. They have a shorter... smaller staff, right? And they turn around levels a lot faster.
I love that clip. That guy slides into 2 bullets to the face. Yeah. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. So this is where Call of Duty got me really excited in the first place, where like I was playing Counter-Strike day in, day out, and I saw something like this. And to this day, man, it's a clear upgrade, right? Yeah. Even Counter-Strike, you know, visually, they keep up to date and stuff, and it does still look fine, looks good, the experience is reliable, right? But I wish, man, they just need to evolve, dude. Like their pricing model, this idea that every year, especially if they're returning to a back and forth toss with Infinity Ward and Treyarch, it's like, just do what you guys do best and just you take care of 1 year of season pass, I'll take care of another year of season pass, and let's just have like this huge map, huge inventory of all the best maps, like Smash Brothers at this point, right? and just pick the map you want. Because the experiences themselves are not so crazy. I mean, I can still see a swap with Black Ops doing its sci-fi thing one season, but certain maps only enables that ability. And then if I want to switch back to a map that is all Modern Warfare, I can. And then it's just a server setting, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, it sounds like a better service.
A better offer. Yes, because what you're proposing offers like actual longevity to my Call of Duty experience.
Yeah, it becomes 30, then 40 million, and 50 million players instead of like resetting every time.
Right now, they're making a very expensive disposable game. Right, every year essentially they're asking you to reinvest, to re-up, and to do it all over again, instead of thinking about sustainability. Because they're essentially like the only gig on the block. That's why a lot of people are adopting it year after year after year. Yeah. But I would love to know that like the money, the time that I'm investing actually means something over 5 years instead of each year individually 5 times. I would feel a lot more comfortable about the money that I spent or the time that I spent in the product. I might even spend 2x or 3x more time. Because once I get to the point where a reset doesn't feel valuable to me, you're going to lose me forever. Yeah. Because once I don't adopt to that sale, because it's like, damn, again, $60 and then all this extra shit, gone forever.
Exactly. Like with people, even though I like iterations from certain Call of Duty studios, I'm pushed to move on or not, right? Which sucks because, the servers get less. It takes longer sometimes to find a server. And all your friends are jumping on the next one. Yeah, you're cutting up your own group here, and I think maybe they have that ace card in the back of their pockets in case their numbers ever dip. They're like, all right, we can always revert back to a consistent Call of Duty. Yeah. Right now, we're still selling copies every year. Like, why stop this to transfer? Because they're greedy bastards. That's why, right? If they were thinking like, let's just make it easier on the developers, make it easier on the consumers, it would work. It would work between two studios who are just adding maps, adding gameplay modes within those maps, have little fun crossover events. I don't know, using Black Ops mechanics versus Modern Warfare mechanics. I mean, that's comes like Overwatchy, right? Yeah. You can introduce those type of things.
I do wish this game was a lot more like Overwatch, especially after they're like, hey, we made a multiplayer only version. We don't have single player. Like, if they really wanted to, but they're not going to. Yeah. They have 3 mega studios full of talent, right, that are making a disposable game. Yeah. Look at Rockstar when they made Grand Theft Auto. They made Grand Theft Auto 6 or 5 one time. They've made substance content that's
so much
there. How much money are they raking in?
Dude, they are still in the top 10 every year. And they are over 120 million copies. And that's only because every iteration they've been putting out has created a news line to reinvigorate interest. Yeah. And for people, the whole world hasn't bought Grand Theft Auto yet. So
the re-up on a Grand Theft Auto is once every 6.2 years kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Versus once every 8 to 9 months in Call of Duty. Even though it's like once every year because it's the same time. I feel like within me buying that game, I don't actually get a full year before they're already advertising that the one that's going to replace this is coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't like it. I wish they would just go online, just go as a service. I mean, this could be their mega game as a service.
I would love to see them try that.
I know they're thinking of that. I know they see the numbers to justify it, but I think they're just waiting for this to completely fall under like 10 million copies per year, where they're like, all right, time to change it up.
When they really have to course.
They milk it till the cow dies type of mentality, right? And then they have a backup plan.
Their break point is like you said, once it hits 10 million, like if you really put what number do you think they would have to see the sales consist like 2 games?
I think it's around 10 million copies. Okay. So if they get like Last of Us number, they're like, oh god, how far have we fallen? Type of.
That's crazy to even compare it that way. Like,
it's true though.
Sells 8.8 million copies. Oh my god, close the studio.
Yeah, they're so used to selling 3 times that every year, right? If they start seeing like a huge like 1/3 drop or 2/3 drop, right? Yeah, that's when they're gonna start pulling out. I mean, I'm sure they're creating an online persistent game, right? That plays alongside these, and they probably will think about like integrating the best maps out of these campaigns into theirs.
Yeah.
But you're creating a separate group again. Seriously, right? If someone really buys into Call of Duty online or something, right? Would they really go out there and buy Black Ops and play a different version of it? It's really weird. You're
to
partition
their audience like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they're doing with every year with these new Call of Duties. It's just, I would like to stay Modern Warfare, like the same way I would go to Counter-Strike once in a while.
Yeah.
There's something familiar. I want to play the maps I like playing, and I know the style is still the same.
Well, how do you feel about then the remasters? Because Modern Warfare 2 got remastered.
Yeah, it's cool, but they could have done that. They could have done that with an online persistent world. And it's here's a new iteration, and everything looks better. Cool, like the way PUBG is doing it. I think PUBG with Striking Distance, Glenn's studio, is on the right track of future-proofing a process exactly how we're proposing. They are closer, in my opinion, to realizing how the market is changing and adopting like, as a service, right? They already nailed game as a service, and now they just need to update, right, on the graphics and everything, and just bring it up to AAA caliber, and they can start having like best levels, Hall of Fame type of deal that people will return to, and I'm excited about that. Call of Duty will be Call of Duty. These guys are like 5-10 years away from even thinking about that.
Yeah.
So PUBG will catch up, and I think we'll connect. Steal this market real quick.
The interesting thing, I guess, when I think about PUBG as a fan right now is like, for me personally, I was a big adopter when it first came out. I had a lot of friends that were playing it when it first came out as well. I believe as far as streamers go, though, like other people, not me, the audience for it is still there. It's consistent, but I don't think it's as big as the first, second, or third place game on Twitch right now. We can probably check real quick to verify. But they're still making a ton of money. Like they've hit their stride now. They have their community that's like, yeah, I know Fortnite exists. I know Apex exists. But this is the battle royale that I enjoy. For whatever, all intents and purposes, I like my pancakes cooked this way. Yeah. So I'm sticking with this one. I'm supporting this one. It could be because they've already spent so much time and they're really good. Yeah. Could be they have so much money invested. Yeah. For whatever reason, PUBG has hit its stride. So I see that this game still has a lot of life left in it. Yeah. And so to then know that, like, hey, we've got, Glenn running a studio now, hiring talent, and then they're going to be working on whatever it is that
the single player, probably,
Why not? Like, you got the resources, bump up the product offering, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, they already are successful, right? So they're going to bring the formula that Glenn knows really well, shipping like 3 Call of Duties himself. Right, into the PUBG universe, which they really need. They need a unique uniqueness to their brand. I don't know what that world is about, aside from like landing naked and putting on clothes, right? Like what is the backstory to this? And it is important because it defines an art direction.
I actually heard recently that they released, like the PUBG Corp released like some sort of backstory for Players Unknown's Battleground.
It has to be more than a text.
Yeah,
right?
it like a blog post.
It
seems like what it was. No, that's what it seems like. They were trying to at least start building up the backstory as to why that game plays that way. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, me personally, I don't need that. Yeah. I understand the experience. I see the theme. I play it once or twice. I'm either going to play it or not. It had nothing to do with the backstory or as the
right. But when I say about backstory, it helped define like the season drops. Sure. Right? Like this map. This is why it happened. Oh yeah. And it helps with the art direction. It helps with gameplay.
100%.
Yeah. So, indie business, game business. Jay Powell just asked, "What do you think the next iteration of Battle Royale games?" There's gonna be a lot more, but in terms of like what's the next kind of like upgrade to Battle Royale?
Well, here's the easier way to answer that question. If you had infinite resources, let's just say, but you wanted to disrupt Battle Royale right now.
I would do what Modern Warfare is
Exactly. So that's kind of how I come to the answer of what I think is next for that area. I don't think making another 100-person Battle Royale is the way to disrupt it.
No.
I think the way to disrupt it is to look at the essential pieces of what makes it fun and then either try to reinvent, offer more, or streamline better than others have done. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, getting straight to the combat, even if it's I think the Battle Royale part that I like that could be applicable in way many different ways is just the idea of pyramid progression.
Yeah.
100 people who suck, we've all killed somebody, so now it's 50 people who have twice as many people's resources.
Yeah.
Then that boils down to 25, boils down to 12 and a half. But you know what I mean? Like that idea of pyramid progress against a bunch of random people, if you just look at it from that standpoint, you can come up with so many more ideas than 100 people fall out of some sort of flying object onto Island of Death.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is a race car battle royale?
Right.
What is a cooking mama battle royale? What is the pyramid progression version of like that gameplay element of everyone starting from zero, competing in like a literal ad hoc tournament all at once until there's a winner can be redone so many different ways.
Right.
Is all I'm saying. So
to
that's
me,
what I
for me to get interested in Battle Royale, which I'm clearly not, I've voiced it many times, they would have to combine it with other genres for me to get excited about it. Like, let's make it straight up command and conquer, son. Have a commander, general on each team that has an overview of the map and start taking over resources, but the people that you control are actual people that can listen or not. I think that would be finally giving you a purpose to run around and take areas of the map and hold it and slowly try to conquer the whole map. Like, to me, that would be interesting.
It was so my senior project plan. Remember senior project planning for
Yeah.
The project I pitched that we made was called RTS.
Oh yeah.
It was real-time strategy themed shooter.
Yes.
That was the whole goal. Was like,
so the cool thing about Battle Royale is that yes, you do have 100 people on the board, right? But right now everything you're turning into like a death match.
Yeah.
Which is to me like the most boring genre, but the most popular, sure. To add like a strategy behind it, let's treat it like fucking war, dude. You have a general that has an oversight of all the battlefield. You have certain goals that you want to achieve. You might have certain squads broken up within 50 people that you need to conquer to kind of take over the map. Yeah. To me, that's a lot more interesting where I am like playing a small part of this bigger idea. Yeah. Right now, it just feels like I'm just dropping and killing people 100 times or 50 times or whatever.
The only goal is to be the one, right?
Yeah, and it's just boring because a lot of that is just like I need filler time because there's a lot of filler time that I'm not doing anything but waiting or correct. I'm picking up loot. Like Battle Royale to me is like picking up shit. That's the gameplay.
Gear acquire simulator.
It's like I have so many guns already, but what's that shit over there? Yeah. Like, is it better shit than what I got going on? That's the whole gameplay. And then sometimes you get a little spike of excitement.
And I think that's what's sad for me about Battle Royale is like it's like Fortnite. When I first started playing Fortnite, I was like, man, look at all these cool things I'm getting for free that I don't get to use, right? Like I keep trading out my guns for the better gun. Yeah. And if I shoot and just do whatever, I'm going to make noise and make people come draw towards me. But when I finally get into conflict, 98% of what I acquired was useless. Yeah. Because whatever gun I had that had the most ammo, that did the most damage, was all I cared about in that moment.
Yeah, there's nothing.
The wood, okay, weapons and items, I'll say. Right. Obviously, your wood, brick, and stone or whatever, like all that matters once you start building your fortress of don't shoot me yet. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think that you have a very interesting point though. That like, I would love to see like a mass co-op game. Yeah, a mass co-op multiplayer game. Like,
give me a purpose.
Something like PlanetSide. Yeah. More modern, but with like way clearer objectives that like literally do mean that like my team of 50 people is marching towards progression.
Yeah, treat it like war.
3 fronts. Yeah. Having 3 fronts allows us to, if one is going bad, we can focus on 2 and 3.
And being able to surround. Oh, man.
Exactly. Something like that.
I just need something like that. Yeah. And I think to me, that would be the next evolution. Because it is cool to have 100 people and each person actually be a person and not an NPC.
Raid versus raid.
Yeah.
When I think about World of Warcraft, and when I think about those days when 40 people got together and they listened to 2 or 3 people and executed a strategy against like one monster.
It's way more satisfying.
Awesome.
Way more satishying.
Put those 2 groups of people against each other.
It's basically, like I want to see a game of chess, right? I want to see everyone having a purpose, a singular purpose to attribute to the overall goal. Yeah. I'm not getting that with battle royale games now. Right now, everyone's a checker, exactly. And everyone's just stomping on each other, and it's just like, what a loss of resources. Because the map itself, sure, it's the same map for everyone that's playing. Eventually, it does get seen, but to have like special locations that everybody needs to go to because it's a special post to kind of hold your position or something. Like there's nothing going on, and you do need like an overall commander to kind of take the seat and like be able to tell. That's command and conquer basically. So Etchy Tubby asks, is Glenn making another battle royale game? No, they got bought by the battle royale game, PUBG Corp, and he's forming his new studio up in the San Francisco area. And our guess is they're making a single player voice for that game.
I don't have details.
No details, but like, I'm guessing.
I know Glenn.
He likes single player.
Okay.
Oh, no, right?
No. I mean, he's not going. Like from all the news articles that I've seen, from everything that I know that is public, I don't think that he's specifically going to be leading a studio to remake PUBG or to make PUBG better. Like literally the battle royale mode. It seems like it's going to be for sure like a single player or some sort of story narrative driven. I don't know if it's single player or multiplayer, but some sort of like story thematic experience and a lot less just, hey, here you are, go shoot people. Like it's actual like a video game like that we're traditionally.
Glenn's strength is telling a story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's he likes a lot of horror, a lot of action movies. You ever talk to him about horror, he could talk all day. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see what that place cooks up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just the idea of like, let's see it. I think Metal Gear does a pretty good job of this, all right? Metal Gear 5, right? Okay. When you're
not what was that new one? Metal Gear's online game.
Not the zombie offshoot that
I forgot the name already. That is so shitty.
Something Rising or something. It's literally zombies. But anyway, Metal Gear 5 was about Solid Snake, and even Ghost Recon kind of does this. You have this area to infiltrate, and they have multiple options of how to infiltrate it, right? PUBG maps or Battle Royale maps should be something like that, where, and this is lending towards, again, the Command and Conquer. Someone does have that post, is there a strategy instead of just going in there, everyone's shooting? You can do that, but that will never, the game should be set up where that will always fail. If you have a post. And because that's the fun, right? Infiltrating a base. None of these Battle Royale games has that, right? They have like these areas of interest, but you're playing in teams of yourself or 4 other people. But imagine 20 people working together, like holding down a fort. That is so exciting. And then you're like, all right, we found them. There's multiple areas of the map. He's like, all right, I finally located them. We got to take this post. And like 20 people talking to each other is like, what's the best way? Setting off explosions, distractions, and oh man, this is where I feel Battle Royale is just like not taking advantage of what they have, which is like, we have 100 people that we can work together. But no, let's break it down to 2 to 4 people teams. It's like, what? No, I want a 20 people team to march and take over. Oh man, that's way more satisfying.
I feel like right now the Battle Royale games that we are seeing is like that first step, that first penguin of like,
I hope so.
We have the tech to do 100 people, and so let's do a safe experience that makes sense. That doesn't require us to strain too much. Now, to start competing with Battle Royales, you might start seeing these games get a lot more aggressive. Like even Fortnite themselves, with infinite resources, they might be the ones to start pioneering some of these bigger game modes and game experiences. They added a creative mode, and creative mode has just gone bonkers with the stuff that I see coming out of creative mode. Knowing that they also had the Save the World, which was originally Fortnite, that people called Fortnite before Battle Royale became Fortnite. I think that I'd be excited to see what they do to stay relevant, right? Like especially when they see the metrics, play or die off is a thing. Right, even if you make new costumes and new commercials and like, oh, there's a concert in game, and like all that fluff.
It's a very tiring gameplay mechanic.
So Fortnite might be the ones to watch, in my opinion, because I think they want to keep.
They
want to keep this gravy train going.
They're very fast at iteration. Any new feature they see, they steal right away. Oh, man. So
pay attention to what cool new games come out.
Yeah, exactly. So it is their best interest to be at the tip and being sharp. I hope so, man, because so far everything I've seen is just the same 2 to 4 player team. Even with Apex, it's like, oh, we're gonna change it. We're the guys that created like this shooter genre for ourselves, the Respawn guys. We're going to make a 3-player team. It's like, come on, is that all you could do? Is that all you could do to this genre? Like, is that the best approach that you can add to this?
I chalk that up to them also being an Infinity Ward spot. They needed a real hit the way that they wanted to
playing
do it,
safe.
right? Like the way that Titanfall 1 and 2 rolled out for them, I feel like they got the short end of the stick. Yeah. Titanfall 2, great game. Got the short end of the stick there. You know what I mean? So, like, I think Apex being as popular as it is now is like exactly what they needed to like, okay, guys, like we got our feet on the ground again. Yeah. So now let's talk about the next 4 years of our studio.
Okay.
That's just me as an
outsider
hope so. Making that perspective.
I hope so because everyone's playing Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I'm a shooter fan, so I feel like I'm missing out because everyone's playing it, but I don't want to play it. I'm just waiting for something better.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this. What about Battle Royale explicitly do you say is like the big turnoffs for you?
Well, Team Deathmatch, man.
Okay.
Team Deathmatch is a very tiring mode. Mm-hmm. There's no strategy behind it. And I'm not dismissing anyone that's really good at those games, right? Like being able to react fast and like, going certain corners when the bubble's closing to kind of get in certain areas of the map that's closed off. There are that type of strategy, but I'm talking about overall team strategy because I like the idea of working together, achieving the same goal. Every man for himself. I've never liked the free-for-all mode where everyone just fights and then last man standing. I never liked that. For me, it's like it's fine for 5-10 minutes, for something like this, right? Go in, get out, right? Like the Modern Warfare stuff that we're seeing, 2 versus 2. But with Battle Royale, I feel like it's against the idea of what a free-for-all is supposed to be about, which is supposed to be quick. For what was supposed to be for me to jump in, jump out. I'm sitting there for like 20 minutes, man. Camping.
Telling jokes to your streamers.
Telling jokes to my streamers. And watching Netflix movies. It's like, I hope this is not where gaming is heading. Where I'm just sitting there finishing like Black Mirror episodes. Come on, man. So like it's against, like I go into shooting to shoot. Not to sit there. And of course people are saying, well, why don't you just go ahead and shoot, just land where everyone else is landing. It's like, then that's not Battle Royale, bro.
Yeah. You know what? I'll say this. I think the Battle Royale model as is fantastic for people who aren't that good at shooters.
Yeah.
Because it actually turns the game into a suspenseful thriller.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not that great at shooters, but they know everyone's playing this game. It's got bright colors. Like Fortnite really draws people in and makes you want to play. It wants you to invest in that world. But if you're not that good at shooters and you're like, oh shit, okay. No. Someone behind this door? Okay, no. There's someone over here.
Yeah, man,
here.
There's just
like
so much dead
tension. But if you're really good at shooters, you know all the strategies. Yeah. You don't have that tension period. You literally are doing sometimes even the dumbest stuff just to get someone to try to engage with you. Yeah. Because once you know where they are, you're way better at assault and pursuing.
Right. To engage.
You play it completely differently. You don't have 18 minutes of tension. You have 18 minutes of jump, look, hide behind the building,
shoot, jump. Yeah, there are two different types of players, but like overall, there's nothing about it to me. And I feel like there's a good portion of people that just, what is this, man? I'm just picking up loot. And I understand the looting part if it's like an RPG, right? It's not even a real RPG. Like it's just a weird crossbreed of, to me, like the most boring part of both genres combined into one. And I hope that it evolves. It's clearly here to stay. Every Battle Royale game that is halfway decent does get a lot of attention, right? So that's why, like, going back to our original time we Call of Duty 2 versus 2, I'm glad it's going back to that. Yeah. I hope they just stay away from the other ones. Like, just don't go into the craze, man. Like, just build your own little thing because there's a lot of people over there that are like, I don't want to play that other game. So,
yeah, I'm excited for the 2v2 mode. I think that it's delivering the goods. Like, in all the footage that we watched, it felt like clips, but when you actually watch it, you're watching from the start of the round to the end of the round, almost being 30, 40 seconds. Yeah. Right? So if you want action and you want it now, this mode actually seems like it's a great way to just get right into it, to feel like you're meaningful, to be like somebody who like, hey, I killed 2 people. Like, I'm badass. Yeah. I had a 2-0 round. You know what I mean? Partner, I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't there when I got double headshots.
Yeah, to me, it's like, you know, what it's like to play with a teammate. I'm not dismissing Battle Royale, not having teammates. Obviously, you're starting with a squad of 2 or 4. But if you're going to make it like a war, then make it like a fucking war. 20 versus 20, son. Sure. 25 versus 20. It's, in this case, 50 versus 50. Yeah. How exciting would that be to have a general?
Not just a mash 50 versus 50, but like...
It could be, but like...
they have that in Fortnite.
No. Yes. But like an actual commander, an actual objective, exactly. Base by base. Like combine and capture the flag. You can combine all the modes that, you know, shooters have created into one massive map. And it still makes sense
than just killing, right? Like having a way to affect the battlefield and like to even
just grab this flag first,
right? Like, like,
and then explode. You know, depending if you're terrorist or counter-terrorist, you know, defuse the bomb or plant the bomb here, complete all these objectives, and then you will win the map. It doesn't have to come down to just shooting, right? And this is where I feel like I'm surprised all the Battle Royale games are not having objective based experiences.
I bet they're
very surprising. I'm sure there's in the works. I'm waiting for those. I'm hoping that's going to be the case because I'm tired, man. I am tired shooting 99 people. That ain't me.
You no longer like chicken.
No longer like chicken.
I had it so much.
Well, that concludes today's episode, guys. Thank you for joining us. We are here at 10 a.m. every morning on twitch.tv/Blue Champs. You can also find us on our YouTube account, Blue Champs. Support us on Patreon or as a Twitch Prime subscriber. And we are going to return with Backseat Gamer next week. So after the show, we will go offline for the week. Thank you so much. We are slowly rolling back from vacation. But thank you for joining us.
And much like an Elmer's glue bottle with the orange cap when you're done using it, consider yourselves recapped.